Walker cautions in her famous poem. Anyone who witnessed the vicious backlash to the color purple in the early 1980s can testify that Walker practices what she preaches. Black men, some of whom were literary critics, many of whom were not, were outraged by Walker's testimony about gendered violence and patriarchy more generally. I was just a girl, and the passion surrounding the color purple made me aware for the first time that books were created by living, breathing artists. A novel was not only a story, but also a gauntlet thrown down by the hand of a large-eyed, brown-skinned woman from my home state. The response to her work was sweaty and deeply personal, like a fistfight. From my television set, Alice Walker seemed to look at me and say, "If you want to do this, daughter, you must be brave." The color purple thrust Walker into the spotlight, but she had been grappling with thorny ideas and unpleasant truths for her entire life. As a novelist, Walker finds her wrestling takes the form of story. Fiction, some say, is the lie that tells the truth. But the most ambitious genre in the literary universe is the novel of ideas, one that asks questions about the nature of truth itself. It overtly engages philosophical questions, turning them this way and that, so they may act as a prism, casting color onto the pages. Alice Walker might raise her eyebrows at this discussion, as designations like novel of ideas are far too often reserved for writers of great privilege, usually white and male. As she so clearly demonstrated in her landmark essay, In Search of Our Mother's Gardens, all people who have inquiring minds are philosophers, theorists, and artists. Everyday people, farmers, nurses, and professors alike, seek to understand the order of the universe and strive to make it more beautiful and more just. Walker's place among these seekers and menders has been clear from her earliest writings. Meridian, her second novel, published in 1976, engages the eternal mysteries of the human condition alongside conundrums specific to her experience as the daughter of a sharecropping family in a period of great social upheaval. With insight born of this particularity, Walker opens the novel with a quote from Black Elk, Heyoka of the Oglala Lakota people, reminding us that all of our American stories must begin with the acknowledgement that this land belongs to its indigenous people. While the societal conflict at the heart of this narrative is the maddening half-life of slavery, we must start at the beginning. The quote from Black Elk is homage, invocation, and warning. Ignore it at your own peril. Walker has always understood that the story of the world is many threads, braided, knitted, and knotted. Coming of age during the civil rights movement, Meridian Hill finds herself living at the intersection of race, class, and gender. She is the intelligent, inquisitive daughter of a working-class Black family in the American South. Her home life teaches her of the connection between the land and those who dwell upon it, and the delicate cord binding the living and the dead. Yet her home also demonstrates the hierarchies of culture and the sheer unfairness of biology. Layered atop this is virtuosic prose, which celebrates the language of the American South and the people who speak it. This work, with all of its vast ideas, structural innovations, and historical corrections, is bound together by Walker's bottomless capacity for empathy. The three wanderers at the heart of this tale, Meridian, Lynn, and Truman, are at once archetypal, yet starkly individual. When I discovered this novel, I was a bit of a wanderer myself. I was a student at Spelman College, the institution pointedly renamed Saxon in Meridian. Spelman, as I knew it, was a refuge for Black women, helmed for the first time in its history by a Black woman president. Alice Walker's name was evoked often and with great pride. Sometimes I would sit in a worn desk in Giles Hall and wonder if Alice Walker had once occupied that same seat. When Meridian was assigned, the professor urged us to learn our history.